welcome back to another episode here at Bar Run Forge. Today, it is fantastic to have you here.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Bar Run Forge. It is indeed Thursday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're here with us. It is Troy and Eli, who's behind the camera making some adjustments right now. Always a pleasure to have you guys here. We're back in the shop after a great weekend, and I want to say hi to everybody that's in the chat currently. We have Dana Maggiore at DE Mag, Eric at Pumpkin Patch Forge and Ironworks, Bobby at Robert Lonis, a.k.a. The Treadle Shed, Jeff Killian, who's doing some great work that we're seeing on Instagram right now, Mr. Kyle Jones, way up in, well, not quite the North Woods, but he's up in Maine. Rob at Granddad's, great to have you with us. The Hammerhead family is here for you, buddy. Can't stay long. He's at work. Eric or Monica out at Blaine's Promised Land Ranch. I'm guessing Monica. Great to have you guys in here.
That didn't help it.
What?
I said that didn't help it.
And while Eli's kicking the camera around and doing stuff with it, we'll just get in touch with you. We have had a kind of a hectic yet wonderful week. Are we set now, bud?
Yeah.
Okay. We've had a hectic couple of weeks, but wonderful at the same time. We were out at the Canal Days in Metamora, Indiana, and we're doing some demonstration and sales there, and had a wonderful time. I think the other part of this is enjoying time spending with people. We've made a lot of friends, believe it or not.
Yeah,
people actually don't mind hanging out with us.
Crazy.
Excuse me. And so we got to hang out with them, some old college friends of mine, and some folks that we just kind of met up with. And we ate a lot of really good food. A lot of really good food.
That's true.
Just kind of a breakdown. Saturday morning, it was Saturday morning, we got up and Katrina come rushing out with breakfast. What all did you have, Eli?
Bacon,
sausage,
eggs, and
bacon and eggs.
and
was there any gravy?
Biscuit.
Biscuit?
No.
Okay,
Just,
bacon and eggs and a biscuit.
Yeah. And coffee.
And she said, I'm bringing you coffee out. Well, I don't drink coffee, but we were catching her as she was flying by, so she brought 2 cups of coffee out. So Eli had 2 cups of coffee.
Yep.
And then about, I don't know, probably an hour later,
Probably about
the
that.
guy across from us had all kinds of smoked barbecue, pork, and oh man, it was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so he brings out, Kyle says, how many knives did you sell? Funny you say that. So he comes over and he has these, hey, I tried out this new thing. I want you guys to try it out. And I got to thinking, now why did he bring us smoked meats and grilled pork? Thinking, well, there's 2 fat guys who can eat meat, or I don't know what he's thinking, but we're glad.
Yeah.
And he brought over these things called pork belly lollipops.
Yep.
And it's exactly what you would think. It was pork belly on a stick, and he had it candied and seasoned and roasted. Oh, I mean, this stuff was, and it just, for lack of better terms, it just melted.
Yeah.
When you took a bite, it just kind of dissolved in your mouth. And this stuff was so good.
Yep.
So that was about an hour after breakfast.
Yep.
And we felt like at one point in time we were hobbits. You know, like breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, and then start the process all over again. Dry it up here. But, and then we worked for a little while. And I looked at Eli and I said, I'm kind of thinking about lunch. And so right across from us was the barbecue place, and we had some of their pulled pork the day before. And I said, I'm thinking pulled pork nachos with some jalapenos. But the line, they were doing great. The line was huge. It's like, I can't get away from the booth long enough to go stand in the line. I think I'll just go over and see if I can't sneak around the line, see if I can, get in there. The guy said, yeah, tell all the vendors, just let me know what you want. And I said, just give us a wink or whatever. We'll come over and get it, pay you for it. Well, while we're waiting, he comes over and he said, hey, I need change. You got any change? So we started handing him, he needed dollars. So we were handing him dollar bills. And he had, whatever he had was more than what we had change for. and I was trying to give him the remainder in something else. He's like, "Don't worry about it." He hands me what he has. I handed him what I had, and he said, "That'll be lunch. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
So he handed us more than what we gave him in change,
lunch.
and then he said, "Don't worry about it." So a little bit later, he didn't give us a sign. He just shows up with 2 big plates of pulled pork nachos.
Yeah.
We devour those, and then moving on into the day a little bit, there was another guy, I call him Hey Dude.
Hey Dude, yeah.
Yeah, Hey Dude came rushing into the stand. Hey Dude, Hey Dude, Hey Dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" He had been there before. He's like, and then he comes back and says, "Hey Dude."
Yeah, you bought a T-shirt.
Yeah, he said, "Hey dude, I want to buy a T-shirt. I want to buy some T-shirts." So he buys some T-shirts and off he goes. And then he comes back, "Hey dude, I just want to tell you, hey, look, hey dude." And he was Hey Duding it the whole way through. And finally he says, "See that silver booth over there?" He said, "That's where the German sausage and sauerkraut stuff like that is." He said, "I already told the girl over there, you guys come over and tell her you're from the blacksmith shop, and you get whatever you want." So I walked over there at some point in time. I don't know, was it 2 o'clock?
Yeah, about
something like that.
Yeah.
I said, "The guy said we can come." He said, "Oh yeah." She said, "Oh yeah." So she loaded us up with German sausage and sauerkraut, stuff like that. So we come over and we eat that. And the whole time, we know that evening we're going to Katrina's to the Cat and the Fiddle there in Metamora, eat chili for her birthday, and hang out, listen to music, live music. And I'm thinking chili. Oh my goodness, chili. And we've already eaten like kings.
Yeah.
So we eat the German sausage. A little bit later, I think, man, right across the way from us, some homemade ice cream.
Yeah.
Guy was making it with the hit and miss engine, and he had been over talking to us. Oh, man, that looks really good. And no more than we were just getting ready to prepare to go over and get the ice cream, our barbecue guy comes over and he says, "Hey, we're getting ready to start shutting it down. You guys have been good to us." And he brings over 2 more of the big. They look bigger this time too. Those pork belly lollipops. So we ate those, and I told Eli, I said, "Man, I guess ice cream's out." He's like, "Says you."
Yeah.
You shut up. So we go over, and we get those, and we eat the pork belly lollipops, and then about 4:30, it's ice cream. And the whole time I'm thinking, we're still going to eat chili. And Eli comes back with these big old sundaes of ice cream.
Yeah.
We eat the sundaes. Then we go over to Kat's and we get chili, and then it's her birthday, so we're getting birthday cake.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how we did it, but it was crazy. We ate some really good food.
Yeah.
And we had some really good Mexican food on Sunday for lunch.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I looked at the end of the week, same weight.
Yeah.
I didn't lose a pound, didn't gain a pound, nothing. So, yeah. I see Bobby at Dogbone come in.
Yep. Thomas Goody Moots. Thomas.
Mr. Thomas Goody Moot. So anyway, while Eli's doing that, I just got to say we had a phenomenal week, and Eli's going to show it off, or I'm going to show it off. So Eli started off with Thomas and a couple other Jake from
We got Jake Rawls
Possum Sausage.
and Possum Sausage and
Keith from Possum Sausage. Jake from Jacob Rawls.
Yeah.
What's his forge?
I don't remember right off.
Oh, doggone it. I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, they started off with these challenges, these blacksmith challenges, which some of you guys are now in on. And the first one was the door knocker. And this is Thomas Goody Moot's
A little higher.
door knocker.
A little higher.
And then at the end of it, they all trade. So this was the one that Thomas made. Excellent job here. And so Eli got Thomas's door knocker, and the rest of them got sent off to different guys as well. So great job, buddy. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one was a forge welded auger bit, T-handled auger bit, right?
Yep.
And I was supposed to get in on that one, and with this week coming up, we just didn't. We didn't get it. Didn't get it done. And the next one coming up is a sign bracket. And some more of you guys have gotten in. Chris Schaefer won the auger bit.
Yeah.
So Chris got to pick what the next one was, and he picked a sign bracket. And I thought, well, the both of us don't need to make a sign bracket.
Right.
So they have been gracious enough to allow us to do one sign bracket. I think Will from Athol is in on this. Maybe Jeff, even Jeff Killian might be as well. So great to have kind of that community and doing that kind of thing, and very appreciative of Thomas getting all that cranked up. Sometimes I'm appreciative of it. Sometimes I'm thinking, dang, I got to do that thing now because I feel bad about not getting involved but not doing the thing. So we had a great week.
Done, though.
Yeah, but we needed to do a sign bracket, so I thought that was a pretty cool thing as well. Eli, kind of share a little bit about your experiences this weekend and how you kind of felt the weekend went.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'll do the usual stuff. Get it lined up. First and foremost, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit the notification bell so you're alerted every single time we have new content coming out here on the channel. Of course, check us out on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok and Rumble, all the social media. And, of course, here on YouTube and the infamous, the fantastic, the wonderful www.barrunforge.com, BARRUNFORGE.com. Go check it out. There's some new stuff up there as well. A couple pieces that I made for the show that I figure will probably sell well too. So we've got those up on the website as well. Tried a couple new pieces and things, and some of them seem to sell well. I've got a magic piece. If you ever want to instantly sell something, is it around here? Where would it be? Is it still in the box?
Might still be in the box.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look on the website, there is a cabin coat hook, whatever you want to call it. It's from Roy and Jess's shop. It's a bear, moose, elk, and deer hook blank. Put those all together, put a nice piece of flamed wood behind it, and call it a cabin wall hook, and it literally sells instantly. I'm 2 for 2 on making one and selling it instantly. It was almost 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Almost 3 for 3 on literally getting it done and selling it right as I was putting the finishing touches on it. So
the other one, there was one that wasn't even cool yet.
Yeah, that was last year. So last year I was making that piece, and they were hanging off of the handles of the little cart that I made, and they were cooling down, and I started putting them on, and I was waiting for that last one to cool off. And this lady was like, "Ooh, I like that. How much?" And I was like, "It's $50." She said, "Okay, I'll take it." I hadn't even finished it yet. So then this year, same thing. I was like, "Okay, well, I've got those blanks. I'm going to start working on a piece." And same thing. I was screwing them on and attaching them, and grinding off the ends of the screws there on the back side so they wouldn't stab anybody. And no sooner than I finished up on that, I turned around. That lady was like, "Ooh, I like that. How much is it?" I said, $50. She said, "Okay." Just instantaneously. I said, okay. So I'm going to try the farm one. So I make one that's got a cow, a chicken, a pig, and a sheep. So I make that one, and it doesn't sell instantly. So I stick it on there, and I was like, okay, maybe it's the cabin one. And I'll finish it up when you get off the... Oh, you're just rasping.
Yeah, I'm just rasping. So
I finish up the farm one, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to try a cabin one again. And so while I'm sitting there finishing this one up, we have another just single bear hook over there on the little cart. And so he's like, "Ooh, I really like that." And so I'm grinding off the screws and everything off the back there, and I get ready to set that one up. She goes, "I like that one even better." I said, "How much?" She said, "How much?" I said, $50. She goes, "Oh, well, I'm gonna have to go with the bear." She's like, "Man, I really like that though." And I just kind of let it sit there in front of her, and she was like, "Man, I really want that." And it's just back and forth, and her husband kind of jumped in on it and was like, we don't. What are you gonna use that? Where are you gonna put that or whatever? And I was like, "Hey, you shut up." So I can almost guarantee you that it is an instantaneous $50. If you make one yourself, sell it.
Yeah, we've got some old red barn siding, and Eli was just basically chopping up in certain lengths, kind of cleaning that up.
Yeah.
Nothing else to it.
Yeah.
Just making those hooks and screwing it to it.
Yep. Literally.
Yeah. So it was, I think, a productive weekend.
Yeah.
We got some orders, and Eli, what would you say the most popular item that we just couldn't keep up with? There's no way we could have kept up with that we got questions about.
It makes no sense.
Nothing.
No absolutely earthly sense that this year, if we would have made 10 sets of fireplace tongs, we would have sold every one of them and still had people asking for them.
And
Fire pokers.
fire pokers.
But log tongs. Log tongs, we
Log tongs and fire
could have
pokers.
sold $3,000 worth of log tongs.
Yeah.
And still not had enough for everybody.
And it's not even a joke.
It was hilarious. Like I just started. Somebody would come up and say, "Hey, can you guys?" And I was like, "I'm gonna take a wild guess and say you're looking for log tongs." Say, yes. I was like, "Why? Why? It doesn't make sense. Why?"
But I got to thinking about that, and I got to thinking maybe, people are staying home a little bit more, and maybe that's what it is. That just people are staying home more, and they've got fire pits, and they want stuff for.
Use an anthracite.
There probably is a couple chunks in there. So I think we missed Corey Shire coming in. So hi,
Eric.
Corey, and High Desert Forge and Ironworks. So we got both of them in, right?
We got Eric as well. But yeah, log tongs. Could have just log tongs.
Crazy.
Short log tongs, large log tongs.
Yeah, the one set we made
a 5-foot pair.
Yeah, tall.
Almost taller.
They were unmanageable, but that's what these people wanted.
Yeah, they were almost taller than the lady that bought them. They were within probably about 4 inches of being taller than the lady that actually bought them. Okay, whatever.
And somebody saw those and said, "Hey, that's what I want." And I said, well, I got to tell you, they're unruly. They're nearly unmanageable.
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, I don't care. That's what I want."
Hello, Pete Fields.
So we sold our last campfire cook set, tripod essentially.
Yep.
So
See you, Dana.
I already had. Take care, Dana. I already had most of the stuff. I'd kind of started the taper on 2 of them and had them cut. I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make a set of fireplace irons. Or not fireplace, campfire.
Because we got another show this weekend. Or next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yeah, that's what I said. Next weekend. Upcoming weekend. Kyle Jones says, log tong me, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably should include a set of log tongs, eh?
Yeah.
So this particular set starts with 5 feet of 1/2 inch round. And round. And you just taper the ends round. And then put a curly Q. Start with that.
Got Red Gum Forge in here.
Red Gum Forge. Hello, hello.
From Australia.
Do we know Red Gum?
Nope, but they are from Australia.
Okay. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. So I've got this jig, if you guys haven't seen this before, specifically for making campfire cook sets. And it makes the J hook and then the back hook as well. So we'll get to see that here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and make one full hook. And then we'll make the other hooks, and then we'll taper the ends to go in the ground, and that's it.
Something I also noticed after this week as well, again, we're not professional selling blacksmiths by any stretch of the way, but I've been to the show 3 years and been to a bunch of other shows and things, was if you show a piece kind of in use, it tends to sell as well. So like we have our fireplace set that is, I'll finish this when you do the twist here.
Okay. So got the J done. Go ahead, Eli.
Yeah. But so we have our tripod cook set that we normally just hang with the, two uprights and then the one across and then hang our S hooks on to sell. But we had another one and I was like, well, it's up in a cardboard tube right now. People don't really get to see it. And I said, what if we showed it in both settings where it's in the tripod or it's in the stand up? So I just, while we're setting up in the morning, I put it out and put it in the tripod and then hung a couple S hooks on it. And as I was putting the tag on it for the price and everything, this gentleman walks up and he and his family, he goes, oh my gosh, I've been looking for one of those. And I'm literally like putting another S hook on it. And I was like, oh yeah? And he said, yeah. He's like, how much is that? And I was like, oh, we sell them for $75. He's like, I'll take it. Like, he looked at his wife and looked at his mom and was like, I'm buying it. He's like, I've been looking for one of these for forever. So, but it was interesting because like we'd had that up, for a bunch of shows and, we've had a couple of them sell, but just as literally like as soon as I was like working with it and, messing with it, everything like that piqued that guy's interest. And some say coincidence, some say a little bit of a marketing.
Because we usually have that same setup done with like hanging our S hooks and, it's up and being used, but it's used in the cross member setup. And then as soon as you set it up in tripod, put an S hook on it, there he was.
Yeah.
Now, that may have just been the dude happened to be walking in just as you were setting up and he was looking for that.
Yeah.
Either way, it worked out.
Yeah.
So that first bend on this jig just basically makes a J hook. So we'll put it back in the J hook formation. And then there's a tab right here. It drops down behind that and then comes back on itself to make the final part of the hook come back. And it has been a very handy jig. I can't say enough about jigs. So you can do a lot, in my opinion.
Yep.
Can't get that hot right in that spot. We'll have to get that hot again. Just in that particular area. Rob Huff?
Yeah, Rob Huff in here too.
Can I dance a jig? No.
Mr. Pumpkin Patch. A cooking chain. Yeah. But yes, definitely good weekend. Sold good. And covered our spot and camper spot and made a little extra to put back into the shop. And got another one this weekend. We'll be doing near Mount Orb, Ohio.
I definitely need to close that one up a little bit more.
Lynn the Okie.
We'll go over to the vise real quick, Eli.
Okay. Daniel Kagerice.
No way.
We got
I've been
everybody
talking
in
about
here.
you, buddy.
It's the OG squad coming in tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. The campfire irons are my favorite. Yes, sir. Love making them. Lynn the Okie, good to have you in here. Making a little correction to it. Went past the mark a bit, so I got to heat it up in a specific spot and fix that up.
Well, we also discovered we have a little jig or hook making jig.
Yeah.
In our metal stash. It was just chilling. It looked
Yep,
like almost looked like a power hammer die, and then I flipped it over one day and was like, that's a circle jig. That's a hook making jig.
See if we got closer that time. Not quite there.
Oh yeah, Rub Huff making a little power hammer foundation. Caught a little bit of that on the Facebooks. Eye surgery?
No. Modular hook jigs. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Daniel, get in touch with us, man. We've been trying to connect with you for a little while. Love to hear from you. See if we're getting any closer here.
Just got to add for dominoes.
Yeah, there we're getting there. All right, we'll close it up and be done with that part of it.
Oh, Robert Whitney?
Getting them all.
Yeah.
Man.
Anybody else get an ad for dominoes? Because I did. Tell me about lava cake. It's not very nice. Yeah, they put the food ad at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock? Like 7 o'clock pizza?
Yeah. Oh, we don't have Daniel Baca. Where's Daniel Baca?
That's true.
Somebody's got to cover his bacon.
Did what?
Just to clarify, apparently if you're monetized on YouTube now during mid-rolls, you have to have mid-roll ads. Otherwise, you're not monetized at all. It's quite goofy. So, I tried to do best because we're not making a bunch of money off of this, so I put it on a conservative amount of ads. That was the option that put the least amount of ads, as far as I can tell. So just YouTube finding ways to squeak in every dollar they can off of us pitiful little YouTube channels. I guess I could have put it on Dad. Hello, Metal Man. Kyle Jones said I got a beer commercial.
Yeah, we planned that one, that's for sure.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to give her one more heat and tune that up one more time, and that one will be done. That one took about twice as long as it normally takes. Of course. Yeah, I love the socket idea. We've toyed around. I've actually wanted to get some big sockets. Had some bought, but somebody sold them while I was on the way to pick them up, even though they told me I was the buyer. So that was cool. I was really happy about that.
2 years later, and he's not salty about it at all.
No, not at all. I'm working on a campfire cook set right now. You can use it as a tripod or a cross piece. Well, we had a great time last week with Ed and Josh.
Oh, yeah. That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah?
Last week I was in the shop.
Grief. That's right. Hanan.
I don't think Rob's been in since you got the new anvil.
Oh, that's true. I was asking Josh, was the new anvil here for the gathering, or when you were here? Like, yeah. I don't know about that.
It was the week after.
It was. All right. Let's check that out. That's okay. Okay. So, that's that end done. We'll try to match up another one just like it.
Another new.
Got to finish up the taper on them first. Figured I'd go ahead and do these and then finish up the bottom tapers another time because you guys don't need to see that. You can see how it works. That away.
It's anvil's what, 456?
Yeah. The answer to that, Rob, is yes. I did use a London pattern, but not anymore.
It's over there.
Hazel's right over there, holding a monster of a guillotine tool. Did we say hi to Kenny at Metal Man?
I did.
Well, good. I wasn't ignoring you, buddy. Okay, so we have set, speaking of the gathering,
Oh, yeah.
we've set a date. Eli?
I don't remember the date.
It's the last weekend, whatever that is on your phone,
Yeah.
on the
It's the
calendar.
last weekend in April.
Yep.
I don't remember. I think it's like the 24th, 5th, and 6th. Last
Look
weekend
it
in April.
up.
Huh?
The gathering next year will be the 26th, 7th, and 8th
It's like what I
of
said,
April.
just different.
Huh?
I said that, just different.
It was the same, just different. I was trying to finish this up before we left for Indiana, and the old gas tank just ran out. I was having some trouble with muscle cramps. Not completely over it, but when your hand cramps up while you're trying to hammer, no fun. It says that Amber will do half the, I'm guessing half the work for you. Some say.
That's Dan's birthday that weekend.
Whose is?
Dan.
Okay. And it's the weekend after Eli's birthday. We were going to do it that weekend, but Eli chose not to. So it's all right. We'll still celebrate some birthdays. We will still celebrate the birthdays. Thomas, I sure hope you can make it.
It is a pretty long drive.
Yeah. It is for some others, I know.
Yeah.
I know Bobby will be here. And Michelle's really hoping Cheryl can make it this year too. I know that's not always easy for her with her schedule. So anyway, start marking it on your calendar. Just go in there and mark it right now. April 26th, 7th, and 8th, 2024. And we will be searching for a group project. And when I say a group project, a project we try to do every year, a project that everybody can make and then take home with them as well. Yeah, you were in Louisiana for a very, very important date. Sucker.
Kenny's going to be in Canada.
Who?
Canada. Kenny.
Oh, no way. Kenny, you're just going to have to say, okay, all the other dates, fooey on them. Well, I'm just going up to Bar Run Forge. You don't have to come. We want you to come for these dates, but we just want to have you up here, buddy. You've been such a blessing to us. Trying a little something else here. Mr. Bill Corey gave us some fire hose to protect our rasp. And so I thought, well, I always keep one right at the anvil. Let's see if I can make a little holster for it. So I screwed it to the side of the base here and took the rubber sleeve out of it and then kind of opened it up, and it's working pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Mama's recovering. She had a little setback. She kind of tweaked it a little bit, but she's doing okay. If we can get her to behave. She says, I am behaving. And yesterday I caught her out behind the house trying to put the cover back on the dryer vent. Leaned over, one-handed. What are you doing? I was just using my one hand. Uh-huh. Do that one again. Driving back from Alaska with his son. That would be an amazing thing. That would be an amazing thing. Both things. Driving back from Alaska with your son and then stopping in a bar run porch. Hey? Don't you think? Elijah?
What?
I said, wouldn't that be an amazing thing?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were still talking to the camera.
Okay. Now we can start the process here. That part being close enough for Jazz.
Mm. You talk about the podcast you were on?
Oh, yeah, I didn't, did I?
Mm-mm.
Is Monica still here?
Mm-hmm.
Let me do that after I make this curl here. So I was asked to be on a podcast. The podcast name is called Round the Hay Bale. If you guys are wondering about it, we posted it on our Instagram, did we not, Eli?
Facebook.
Facebook?
Yep.
Okay. But it's called Round the Hay Bale, and there's 4 individuals. Monica from Bland's Promised Land Ranch, who is on here right now, is one of the hosts of that podcast. And they said, why don't you come in and talk about, not blacksmithing, about multi-generational homesteading, multi-generational farms, and which we certainly qualify for.
Yeah.
Because Eli is 7th generation here on the farm, and we've got a history that goes further back than that. But we were able to talk about that. We talked about how making sure you have a trust and all that kind of fun stuff already done and made up to protect the farm because the inheritance tax. And to be able to inherit a farm nowadays, you just can't do it. It's just nearly impossible. So we got on the podcast there, and it was really fun. It was a really good time. And then Tuesday morning, they have a live morning show the day after their podcast. And so I was on there for a little while. So they endured me for part of the time, and they talk about all kinds of stuff on there. It's a good time. So go check them out. It's called Round the Hay Bale.
Yeah, there's a link up on the Facebook page, and I think the Instagram is just like Round the Hay Bale. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think that's it. I'm catching them all. Okay. That one went a little better. How about that for a plug, Monica?
Jeff Killian asked about your hay bale taters as well. Speaking of
Ah,
hay bales.
yes. I actually dug up some yesterday as a check, and one plant. I'll give you guys kind of a preview. We'll do a actual video on it. But one plant in particular produced 5 pounds of potatoes just in the straw, and I mean we're talking fist-sized potatoes and bigger, just out of one plant. So we got 5 pounds of potatoes off of one plant, and I haven't gotten to. We planted 10 pounds, so I know the ones up in the big bales are not going to do as well, and I think I have I won't say a justification, but I think I understand why. But we'll talk about that as well. But the potatoes look great. They're phenomenal.
It's not giving him a zombie.
Bobby Lonis, just because. Well, just because, buddy.
I don't know why it's not giving him.
I do think the big straw bales will work, but I don't know that the first year is really the best for them, partially because of moisture. I just don't think unless you just are constantly watering them, nutrients are not the deal, because I put enough soil in there, they should have enough nutrients. But
we're gonna fake
I think it's a moisture issue, because up on top of the big round bales, basically, unless you're just soaking the top of the bales, it's not the same amount of moisture. Down below, they were getting a lot better. The ones on the sides, and again, I'll give you a preview, were actually growing up through and up throughout the top of the straw bale. So again, that's another, I won't say an issue, but a thing that goes along with it. You cannot be trusted. So other than that, that went a lot better.
I don't know if we're still alive or not.
Everything cool?
Nope.
Do what?
No. That should get us back. Okay. I think we're good now.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. Everything okay?
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Never fails, man.
Our family has a knack for knowing how to kill technology. Never understand it.
That one's going a lot better.
Will, that is all right, man. We appreciate anything and everything.
What's that?
Will just said that he wish he could donate more, but things have just kind of been slowing down.
Well, buddy, you are greatly appreciated in many, many ways here at Bar Run Forge.
Yep.
See how close they are. A little, I can adjust that. Okay, so I need to bring that hook up a little bit.
Kyle wants to know how the hay bear farming's going.
Definitely slow.
Yeah.
Definitely slow. Hay bear farming just ain't what it used to be.
Bill Corey.
Mr. Bill Corey. They call him Mr. Bill. Oh no.
Yeah, the Hey Dude this past week. He also, so Sunday after Dad left, when I was kind of cleaning things up and packing everything up, he came by at the end and he had a bag full of German sausages and buns and everything. And he was just like, "Hey, I got a bunch of this stuff left over. If you want it, if not, throw it away. I don't care." And he handed me this whole bag. There's probably 10 or 15 German sausages and a whole thing of hot dog buns.
The hot dog buns didn't even hardly make it home.
Yeah.
I think they were stale coming out of it. They were like Speedway hot dog buns.
The German sausages were almost like a German Slim Jim.
Like a what?
Like a German Slim Jim.
Yeah.
They had very similar seasoning.
So I'm heating up
John
Burnell. Heating up the other hook to kind of match it up to the second hook. I like the way the second hook came out, so I'm going to match it up to this one. The old Osage mallet out. Excuse me. Well, that was a little taller. As far as the hooks go, that's all right. So I'm going to go with that. Now for the final piece.
We had Oktoberfest about a month ago. Pretty good German sausages and other German food.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what all the food we had. We had there's one restaurant we always go to for potato cakes. Awesome. And then we got 2 different types of German sausage, bratwurst. I tried one type of sauerkraut that I've ever liked in my entire life. That's because they cooked it in a lot of bacon. Otherwise, I don't like sauerkraut.
Yeah, I do. And the answer to Bill's question is no.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those freestanding convertible tripod deals. So, yeah, the potato cake, man. Gotta love potato cakes. Schnitzel, Spätzle.
So, I'm trying to think of what the other last little piece we had.
Guy asked, he says, "You guys like German sausage?" And I was like, "Well, our last name is Roush."
I'm not that picky of an eater.
Tater dumplings? I don't know.
I didn't eat a lot of greens, and I still got this big, so.
Ian's trying to split on me.
Luckily enough for us, we live in near Cincinnati. Very, very, very Germanic history. So German food here is top notch.
Agreed with you, Will, on that. And agreed with you, Rob, for sure. Agree with everybody. Great job. Way to go. Agree with Monica. Good stuff. Agree with Daniel, Will, Rob, and kind of Thomas. Yeah, that end fell apart on me there. Kind of split. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Well, that ain't right. That one will have to do tonight, right now.
Is that one the actual right size?
Not really. Well, yeah.
That was the one that you ground down a bunch.
Yeah. Trying to make it fit.
The big Achaio. Or
Yeah.
no, the little Achaio.
Good enough.
Oh. I'm getting a tractor supply.
What's that?
Tractor supply ad.
Really?
Yeah. Go away. I used to work there. I don't need to hear from you guys. Nice.
That is really cool. Germany to your grandparents. That is fantastic. One of the trips, Michelle asked me the other day, she said, if you could choose anywhere to go, where would it be? Like if you could get a plane ticket or you could drive there right now, or say, okay, I'm going to go to this place at any time, where would it be? I said, well, let's talk United States first, and then global. And she said, okay, United States. I said, well, I like to go out to the Tetons, in the places you were talking about.
Yeah.
And Maine is the only place pretty much on the planet where I would move away from here to go to. So, and I want to go back to Maine. So I'd say the Tetons or Maine. And then tropical islands or tropical place, any place tropical. I always thought Fiji or Tahiti would be one of those places I would want to go visit. But I would pick going to Germany to see the Roush German heritage area. Any place on the globe. So what do you think? What's everybody else think? Some place you've never been before, too. I mean, I've been to Maine, but... So what's everybody think?
Don't have too much fun with that, Rob.
Power hammer bolt mounts. No, they are not.
I probably have to agree with Dan on that one. Ireland is definitely up there on my list.
I wouldn't mind going back to Scotland.
Yeah.
During Highland Games. But if I were choosing places I've never been before, yeah, Ireland would probably be on the list. So, but that would cover part of our other heritage. So
yeah,
that would be cool.
Oh yeah, Bobby, you said it best. Tetons and Yellowstone is. Yeah, if we didn't have a farm in Ohio, after that vacation I would have moved out to Wyoming in a heartbeat, Montana, somewhere around that area.
Yeah, I've never been out there, so that's one of the places I really want to go. What was the question? If you could choose any place in the United States and any place around the world, what would those two places be to go to? And hopefully places you've never been before.
Thomas said Australia.
Yeah. And I was sick. I wasn't sick. I had an opportunity to go to Australia.
Yeah.
To play for a drum and bugle corps professional for a summer. And we wouldn't get back until time to go to school. So I would not have been able to do the whole trip. And I was, oh my gosh, I was so upset. I really wanted to go to Australia.
Y'all got way too many animals and bugs and other things that are trying to kill you.
In Australia?
Yeah.
Jeff says Alaska and Scotland. Dakota, Wyoming,
So you never want to
Washington
see
State.
the sun, huh?
What's that?
You see, he never wants to see the sun.
Never want to see the sun. There you go.
Yeah, Iceland is definitely up there on my list as well.
That was my last one that I mentioned. I think that would be like number 3 globally.
Yeah. Red Gum said, give them some space. They won't hurt you. Iceland, one, it's beautiful, but two, my main thing I want to go to Iceland for is the Husafell stone.
The what?
The Husafell stone.
Oh, yeah.
The big
strongman stuff.
Yeah, the big 300-pound stone you have to carry around the old sheep pen. I want to be able at least lift it. I don't know about walking around the whole deal with it, but at least be able to say I lifted the Husafell stone. Oh, Mr. Peace Dragon. Bobby, we did something similar. We started in Lexington, Kentucky, where my mom is, and we went up through Indiana, Illinois, into trying to think of how we did it. Indiana, Illinois, dipped down into Iowa, and then up to South Dakota and Badlands, and what was the other one? The
You see
huge
Bill
park,
Corey?
huh?
You see Bill Corey?
Yes.
With the beautiful Greenland and Saudi Arabia.
There was, man, what was the falls? Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So we stopped in there's a huge multi-level park where all these falls just go through, and it's a beautiful area. So we did South Dakota, and then went on into Montana and Wyoming. We spent the majority of our time at Yellowstone and the Tetons. And then we went down to Vegas, and then went to Arizona, Grand Canyon, and briefly stopped in Garden of the Gods, and then came back through into Missouri and Nebraska. So basically we covered every state on the inter part of the United States west of Indiana, Illinois. So I've never been to the 3 outside states, Washington, Oregon, California. I haven't been to Texas or Oklahoma.
You've never been to Boston in the fall?
Never been to Boston in the fall. Oh yeah, Colorado. We stopped in Colorado for a night as well. But yeah, so we tried basically in a 2.5 week span. We covered each of kind of like the big western states, minus the 3 outside, Texas and Oklahoma. Basically started in a loop from Kentucky and came back into Kentucky.
It's kind of what's everybody saying. Is there one that kind of pops out? Or is everybody just kind of saying all kinds of different things?
Oh, yeah.
Where they want to go?
No matter where you are, where you go, there you are.
That's right.
There you go.
That is true. Wherever you go, there you are. Yuma State Forest. Yeah. Last trip out west, went back to the geographical center of the continental United States. I heard about that. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a particular spot. There's something about like an echo or something you can hear or feel at that spot that Bill Corey's talking about.
Huh.
There's an actual center.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure.
Went to the Continental Divide?
No, center of the United States.
We went to the Continental Divide.
Okay, so other than the bottom papers on this is your campfire cook set. You can do it in a tripod. You guys have never seen this before. You tuck them all 3 in together, and you get a locked-in tripod for cooking. You just got to balance it up, and it is solid. So at that point, you can hook anywhere on here. You can hook an S-hook and drop your pot from that.
Or a trammel.
Your cooking pot, a trammel. You can hook from that. And then very simply take it apart as such. And this is always the fun one.
You got to use the hardy hole there on your...
Might have to use the...
No, I meant the striking handle.
Oh. Okay. Good call.
Thank you,
Eli. And then you drive these 2 in the ground, and you got that. So you can do the cross member. You can put the trammel, the hook, and then again, on occasion we make a swing out for a frying pan or a pot. We also make a swing out for a grill, and it's really kind of cool. You make this little hook, and you can actually reach out and hook it, swing it around, and it's a friction fit with a little spiral on it. And on the back of the spiral, we make a hook there too. So I really like making these. They're a lot of fun, and it would make a campfire. In fact, we're going to be using them this weekend camping out with the church group. We had our cookout camp out this weekend. There's already 2 sets set up around the fire pit. So just about every one of us somewhere along the line has got one of these in particular. Tracy has my very first set,
rebar set
made out of rebar, and he loves it. I keep telling him I'm going to make him another. He's like, no, I want this one. This is the one I want. So, yeah, Frontier Cooking. That's basically what it was. You know, we were watching Gettysburg. We were watching Gettysburg movie the other night, and kept seeing them pop up in the campsites, and you're like, yep. And they were almost identical to this. So those of you who are, you know, period people, this is the style in which they would have used, with some slight variations, but very effective, and, you know, easy to collapse and take with you.
Yeah.
You know, it
folds up easy.
Breaks down into that right there. That's it.
Yep.
So essentially what I'm going to do is go on each end of these and taper them down to a round point, enough to drive into the ground, and that set is done. I may or may not even put a finish on these. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
They're going to be around a fire, so it's kind of a moot point to put a finish on them. But, you know, if you want to make them look nice, you put a finish on them, and then you're done. What is our time? Yeah, I don't want to start on that with these. So
there you
go. He was asking, go overseas, record your picking up that stone. You've not been on a plane yet, have you?
No, I never have.
He's not flown yet.
I have not. Bill Corey, probably one of my favorite things of all time, on a vacation, just in general. It was a really cool experience. There is a little church in the Tetons, and Bobby, if you haven't checked it out, next time you go, definitely check it out. But there's a little church in the Tetons, and just a little like old frontier log, you know, timber frame church. Nothing fancy to it, but you walk up to it. You know, obviously it's already in a gorgeous setting, but when you walk in, there's a table, and then there's a giant open view window in the very back, and the cross that they have, you know, just an old school wooden cross right there in the middle of the window, and in the background, in through the view, is just a perfect view of the Tetons. And one of my friends, Mike, is big old goofy buddy from Eastern Kentucky. We were all kind of standing around there, and he was never one for words of wisdom. His words of wisdom were very salted with Eastern Kentucky sarcasm and some type of random saying that he knew. But we were kind of standing there, and he just all of a sudden had to have the most sober, realistic comment ever, and he said, you know, those are any prettier, I think God would have just kept them for himself. He said, and I think you can believe in God with a view like that. I was like, dude.
Another place I've heard a lot about it that I really want to check out is at Billy Graham's kind of campus, so to speak, down there. And they have a church that's, I think it's, no.
Is it in Arizona?
No, I think actually it's it might be in South Carolina. Anyway, it's in the mountains, either North Carolina or South Carolina.
Yeah.
And the back of it is this little chapel that's kind of set on the rock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all sheltered, but the back is open.
Yeah.
So you kind of come out of this cave kind of thing, and it opens up, and it's just overlooking the valley and everything. Absolutely gorgeous. I want to check that out one day. I'd love to be able to, you know, like have a group of folks go down there and just, you know, sing and enjoy the time there. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, if anybody, one of our moderators, and Eli can make some other folks moderators, to drop some of the links. We don't do a whole lot of that here on our channel, but
usually Daniel Baca's on it.
Daniel Baca is really good at that. So, yeah, unfortunately, Red Gum can't do it because he's not one, and Feast Dragon's not one. But, you know, any of these channels, go check them out.
Definitely.
Go check their stuff out. And, yeah, like I said, if anybody wants to drop links to everybody here, that's quite all right if they're okay with it. Feast Dragon says, won't let me sub. That's odd. So anyway, I'm seeing some European trips, not a whole lot of South America, not a whole lot of Asia, and not a whole lot of Africa. A lot of European trips.
Yeah.
No, none Antarctica. Nobody mentioned that. I think all those places would be neat to visit. I mean, there are places in Asia, Southeast Asia, places like that I'd love to see. That are kind of neat, but
Let's see if I can
just
find that.
not tops
church
on my
for you.
list necessarily. And of course, good grief, to go to some of the beautiful places in Africa. There's some just gorgeous places there as well. Go see the ruins in Egypt and places like that. That would be really cool. And of course, I would love to go to places like Rome and Greece, because I'm kind of an ancient history guy. I love that stuff. And I think it's just kind of special that you can go up and, put your hand, like when we were in London and Paris and places like that, and you're putting your hand on stuff that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years old, and you're like, we walk around here and go, wow, this was, Jamestown 400 years ago, or this was a Indian burial mound, 600 years ago or whatever, and you're like, wow.
Right.
And they're like, that's 400 years after this English king, It's just kind of humbling, and it's another 1,500 years before or after Hadrian's Wall in England. So that's just kind of crazy,
Yeah.
We went to a place in England, in the north of England, called Sawston Hall. Sawston Hall is in the little town of Sawston, and it's actually used to be owned. It's privately owned again, but used to be owned by one of my mom's side, her relatives, and it was a fairly, they were lords essentially. They owned land and they owned an estate, and when Mary Queen of Scots was trying to flee out of England to get away from Elizabeth I, she hid out in Sawston Hall. It was basically being chased. And there were multiple places where Mary Queen of Scots hid out, but she hid in some of the priest holes. And if you know about the priest holes from the Church of England, the Catholic, the Catholic priests would hide in hiding spots in homes and places like that to hide from the Church of England. They're kind of a goon squad that go after them and hunt them down and basically kill them, burn them alive, stuff like that. It was kind of crazy. And we saw where the priest holes were in Sawston Hall. It was kind of neat. Not kind of neat, but it was just intriguing because, they talked about how there were like 5 or 6 priests they could shove down in this chiseled out hole under the stairs. It was basically they could slide. They had a spiral staircase, and they could slide one of the spiral slabs of rock out of the way, and these guys could climb down in there, and they would shove the rock back. And the space was not enough space for 6 people to even remotely be comfortable, but they would hit out. So that kind of stuff was really kind of intriguing, and to know that was happening hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and then to have the family connection, so to speak, to it was really kind of neat. And then, like I said, going up into Scotland, and we come across the pond to the channel to Paris, and realized Paris is an amazing city, but it stinks. It's just a dirty, stinky city. There's a lot of neat stuff there. I was always amazed that all the conflicts throughout history, Paris just kept coming up. As soon as it was outside of Rome proper, and before the Roman era, there was a lot of battle over this one spot, and it was Paris. And Paris isn't. The amazing part is it's strategically and as far as resources go, it has a river, but it's not really close to an ocean. It's not really, resources are okay, but it's just kind of, it shouldn't be that place. But once somebody starts fighting over a particular geographical spot, everybody wants to fight over it,
Right.
It's just kind of interesting. I know it's completely off topic of what we do here, but I think that kind of stuff is extremely interesting to me, to be able to put your hands on that type of history that you learn about, and I think it's important for all of us to kind of take a little breather from what we do. As I said, we were watching Gettysburg the other night. Yeah, it's an epic. It's long, and it's actually part of 3 movies. Gods and Generals, Gettysburg, and then there's one after that. Eli didn't make it through.
Make it all the way through. I know what happens at the end, though.
Yeah. But to see some of the intricacies of the battle and kind of what these guys, and they were writing in their journals about this kind of stuff, and how a lot of them were friends just months prior, and now they're being forced to fire at each other. There were two Irish regiments at Chancellorsville and Fredericksburg that were pitted against each other, and they specifically did that. They knew there'd be these two Irish regiments, and they were specifically Irish. I mean, they carried the Irish flag, they had the harp, the whole bit, and they were literally, brothers and cousins just directly fighting each other and shooting each other. And some of the guys were recounting in their journals about how they were literally firing with tears rolling down their eyes, rolling down their face as they're shooting at family. It's just kind of a thing that we need to keep our eyeballs open for, and interesting.
Bill Corey said the best place to go is Bar Run Forge.
It's epic.
Epic.
It is epic.
Thomas brought up a good one. He said go to a third world country and work in a big smithy.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You ever get an opportunity to go do that, I would say that's a good time spent.
Yep. Been to a few of those, mostly in Central America. And, those are, I honestly would recommend almost everybody go to some. I hate to use the term third world or impoverished, but they are. They're struggling, and to go there, and it's really interesting because when you go there, you go with this intent of blessing them, and you're always blessed by them. When you go there, it's just a humbling, very humbling experience. So I would highly recommend it. I mean, even if you're not in particular a Christian person or a person who does mission work, take the time to go do something of service for somebody else, and those people are definitely in need. So find somebody in need, even if that's in our region. We encourage our folks at the church to look at what they do for other people, locally, regionally, and globally. And so we try to focus our energies on people that way. And I think that's good, again, for anybody, even if you're not a Christian, Jew or whatever. If you're focused on people in need, you're going to be blessed by it. There's no question about it. Yeah, you're right, Bobby. I'd love to go to England again and find some smiths and work with them there. That would be really, really cool.
You don't know anybody that's an English smith, do you?
Yeah, but to find one of those really old forges, and hang out in those shops, it would be really cool. And Corey asked the question, so am I willing to go to the Holy Land, Israel?
Right now? No.
No. I've asked myself that question.
Yeah.
With everything going on. And I don't think it's with everything going on. It's just kind of ever.
Yeah.
I know some friends of mine that went on a Holy Land trip, and it was really interesting. They had all these great pictures and videos and everything. And the tour guide that was showing them said, okay, don't go over there.
Right.
And then right over here was like this amazing, beautiful, historic place.
Yeah. And
across the road was death.
Yeah.
And
you can't walk past this line.
Don't walk past that line or you will be blown up.
Yeah.
It's kind of a crazy situation. So, there are even places with the war going on where you can still get into Israel, go enjoy some places, and then get out. That's still a possibility, but there are other places where no. And now there are more places. You're exactly right, Bill Corey. So we were at Quad State, and one of my main reasons for going, I wanted to see the demonstration by the one, the only Mark Asprey, who it was like a warm hug.
Yeah.
Just listening to the guy talk, and one of my favorite words that he says in his British accent is chamfer.
Yeah.
And just to hear Mark Asprey say the word chamfa.
Yeah.
It was worth the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to Bill Corey when it happened. So it was even better.
He even was nice enough to give you his butt pillow.
He's orange.
The orange butt pillow.
Yeah. That was really kind of cool. Just that dude, man, it was so funny. And I tell a story on Mark. So he was giving his demonstration, and there was this young guy who you could tell was very, very early into smithing.
Yeah.
Very early into smithing. And he asked some of those very early into smithing questions.
How hard
And
do
he's
you hit
talking
metal?
to Mark Asprey. That was one of the questions we actually got this weekend.
Yeah.
How hard do you have to hit that? That was a question
Yeah.
we got. And then another guy asked if we were burning rocks.
Oh yeah, he asked if our coal was rocks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dad, the little girl came up and she said, "How hard do you have to hit that?" And he kind of just like, I don't know how to answer this. And slams it and he goes, "About this hard."
About that hard.
And then she leaves and he goes, "I believe that was the dumbest question I heard all week." And then the next day, it was overdone.
It was outdone.
The gentleman said, "So you guys just kind of like pick up rocks and heat it up in that?"
Yeah. I don't know.
About 5 minutes later, Dad goes, "I stand corrected." I said, "I know exactly what you're talking about."
Oh, yeah. Add that one to your blacksmithing bingo.
Yeah.
How hard do you have to hit it? And are you burning rocks?
We're using rocks.
Yep. Yep. My first instinct with the little girl said how hard do you have to hit it was to come up with 475 joules.
Yeah.
Or 2,800 psi
Right.
or something that's I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. Just make it up and tell her, and she'd be like, "Wow." But yeah, the question is, would I go over there? I would love to go get with some other 1.21 gigawatt. I would love to go over to England and smith with some of those guys. Would I go over to the Holy Land? I don't think it would change now or later.
Yeah.
I don't think it would matter to me one way or the other. But I think it would be really neat to go to those places again because of that historical significance and the religious significance as well. I wouldn't look at it as some sort of pilgrimage or something like that. I would just look at it as a significant historical and religious thing to go check out.
You could look at the Jordan River and go, "Jesus stood here."
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, just to and not be like, and do all that kind of stuff. Just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
2,000 years ago, my Lord and Savior walked across this spot right here.
Right.
That would just be really, really cool. Would my faith be stronger because I stood in that spot? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I think it would be an incredible experience. I don't fear the whole war thing. Again, even now there are places in Israel where you can go where it's safe.
Yeah.
And many of the holy sites, so to speak, are those things that they're just not fighting over right now, physically over war. So, yeah. I thought the groping was your favorite part. Oh goodness. So yeah, I don't know that that's any factor to me. It's not really what I worry about necessarily. I don't worry about a whole lot, so.
It's true.
I on occasion will get frustrated, and that kind of thing. But more commercials.
Yeah.
Buy silver. Buy a Helix mattress.
Yeah.
And
Super Beats.
Get some Super Beats and a NordVPN. Rough greens for your dogs.
Yeah.
Rough greens for your dog.
Balance of Nature.
Genucell.
Genucell.
All right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so you could throw it in the streets? Oh, yeah. There you go. So anyway, we are at 8:01. I've been dad-kneeing it for a little while, so I think we can shut it down.
Stuck like that now?
Quite soon.
What's that? Put some grease in the Zerk fitting now. Your knees.
I might have
like
to. That thing. I think I swapped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did swap. There we go. So anyway,
that one's on 35.
You guys, man, I'm telling you what, it's such an honor, such a blessing, and you guys are so. I hate to use the word faithful, but you guys are just so good about being here with us and spending time with us. We love coming in here with you and hanging out with you. It is our goal to give you a little something for the evening that's enjoyable and nice to hang out with us. It's been our goal to be with you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
some of you guys we've actually seen in person. Some of you guys we just wish we could see in person, which would be such a blessing. But don't hesitate to reach out to us. You know, we've got all kinds of ways to get in contact with us, and hopefully, if you guys want to make plans to come to the gathering next April 26th, 7th, and 8th, right here at Bar Run Forge. It's growing every year.
Yeah.
Potentially
some cool demonstrators.
Yeah.
That week.
And we're working on getting some pretty cool demonstrators for this next year as well. Yeah. And then get with us. You know, if there's something you guys would like to see us do, we've done hammers, we've done tongs.
Yeah.
You know, we've done little crossbeam hammers, we've done tongs. We're looking at another thing to do for the following year.
Yep.
For April. That basically the demonstrator can show us, maybe.
Yeah.
And then everybody go off and do that thing, and then we can kind of either take it with us or hand it off to somebody else. And there you go. All right. Yeah, that would be good. Working with iron, Nathan. That'd be a good one to go see.
Oh yeah. That's a good guy.
Another guy that's really easy to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. 80 something.
Tree.
80 tree. God bless you guys. Eli, kick him out the door.
Bye. No, I'm just kidding. Kick you out the virtual door. Before you do it, though, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit the notification bell. They're all located right there on your page on YouTube. If you have not already done those, please do so. Always double check, make sure the reminder bells hit. I know some people have brought up that they don't get the notifications. Sometimes it's nice just to hit that bell and hit it again. Make sure it's lit up and put all notifications on your setting. Excuse me. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok and Rumble, and of course the infamous, the wonderful, the fantastic www.barrunforge.com. BARRUNFORGE.com. Done that one for you, Bill Corey. Hacksaws, candle holder hinges. And with that, I bid you adieu. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.